Chapter 182, 147 Temple Struggle Against Evil Spirits, 4.4K, asking for monthly tickets and subscriptions. Chen Zion's eyebrows knitted tightly as she said, Wang Hongdao must have been ambushed by the two, and moreover, it was during his battle with the gatekeeper that he was sneak-attacked. Otherwise, with his strength, it's impossible for him to lose. Even if he were not a match, he could have retreated with ease. He wouldn't have been eliminated. Lu Chenju spoke softly. It can only be this way now. Let's go find the others. This training exercise started off on the wrong foot. If we don't regroup now, we're bound to be picked off one by the Huangshan Martial Arts University. We don't even need to wait for the final battle at Bright Peak tomorrow. Dragon City would be eliminated. On the helicopter, Wang Hongdao's face was unsightly. He hung his head low, somewhat dejected. Wu Zun said, It's not such a big deal, it's just that you were a bit unlucky. Wang Hongdao's voice was hoarse as he said, I'm sorry, teacher, I've let the school down. He knew that this matter related to the school's vital interests, as well as the 5 million bonus everyone was counting on. As the pillar of the extreme limit realm, his fall was bound to have dire consequences. This was the reason for Wang Hongdao's intense self-reproach. King Shin Kang remarked indifferently, The competition has just begun. You needn't be so disheartened. Zai Ocean broke through to the 10th rank yesterday, and his iron horse flying bridge leg also reached perfection. He usually hides his capabilities, and facing Li Kangkang, he is not without a chance of winning. However, your performance today was indeed lacking. You with your whale form are known for your brute force, not nimble movements. When you found yourself surrounded, the most prudent choice would have been to break out, not to stand your ground for a token. Once you realized you were no match, it was already too late to run. In short, you were too confident and not cautious enough. Wang Hongdao humbly accepted the lesson. Li Gui commented, Chenju and Zioan just repelled a man clad in black with strength not much inferior to Li Kangkang. Chenju hasn't even gone all out yet. It's hard to say who the winner will be. Wang Hongdao lifted his head and looked down at the original mountain forest, lush and green. I have a feeling Chenju will bring us a surprise. Ever since Lu Chenju entered the school, he had been creating miracles. Perhaps this time, too, he could turn the tide. King Shin Kang said, A tiger entering the mountain forest, with the wind and the water at its back. Old masters of the tiger form fist were all adept at wilderness combat. Let's watch Chenju and the others' performance. Li Gui said confidently, Chenju can do it, trust him. He often sparred with Lu Chenju during fist technique classes and knew full well how formidable he was. Extreme limit realm. Perhaps indeed we could launch a counterattack. Seeing the teachers not panicking, Wang Hongdao breathed a sigh of relief. Come on, everyone. An abandoned ancient village. Bang, bang, bang. Yao Cheng's eagle claw was relentless, as quick as lightning, controlling a headless scholar-like void thing from beginning to end and finally blasting it against the white wall. He listened to the broadcast, feeling uneasy inside. Wang Hongdao has been eliminated. Lu Chenju's performance is surprisingly good, though. And where on earth is Zhou Xingkang? Never mind, straight to Bright Peak. He took the first token and hurried towards Bright Peak. Night fell. The stars were brilliant against the dark sky, and from afar, the celestial capital and the Lotus Peak stood like giants. Due to the virtual disaster, there were few night tourists, all hurrying down from the mountain to head home. Chen Zioan and Lu Chenju walked side by side. At twilight, they had joined forces in an ancient village to defeat another black-clad gatekeeper, still at 10th rank. Again, they acquired a Jade token, for the time being, kept by Lu Chenju. The moonlight spilled on the ground, casting mottled tree shadows. Through the mist, a dilapidated temple could barely be seen. Wangguang Temple. Chen Zioan hurried over and stood shoulder to shoulder with Lu Chenju. Inside her Daling acupoint, intense coldness surged, revealing a solemn expression on Lu Chenju's face. There are void things, possibly high-risk level. Void things differed from martial artists. Although Lu Chenju could easily defeat most third-rank experts, the thought of the unpredictable void things filled him with an unease of the unknown. The abilities of void things varied greatly. Chenju, let's go check it out together. Chen Zioan patted Lu Chenju's arm. Lu Chenju asked, Have you ever fought a high-risk level void thing? No, have you? Not unless the blood feather demon counts. If we work together, we should be able to handle any nether level void things or below. Don't forget, this is just a training exercise. The school wouldn't arrange for very dangerous kinds of void things. Above floating level was nether level, matching martial artists. The two tiptoed quietly, approaching the mountain god temple. In the moonlight, Lu Chenju's fist blade glinted coldly, while Chen Zioan's whip emitted a blue fluorescent light that flickered and transformed. Against void things, there was no need to hold back. With a glance at one another, they stepped into the mountain god temple together. In a certain underground monitoring room, in front of the teachers and staff from both schools were rows of screens broadcasting the situations at various checkpoints: nameless cave, nameless cliff, deserted ancient village. The tokens from these places had already been taken by the students, and currently, half of the checkpoints were yet to be found. In the center of the screens, the situation at Wangguang Temple was now playing. A staff member said, "Wangguang Temple is one of the 4 toughest checkpoints we set up. Inside it is a high-risk level void thing called stone statue bound, which is a solid void thing with an impenetrable shell, capable of changing its shape and masquerading as sculpture or deity statues, extremely lethal." Wu Zun asked, "How does it compare to the extreme limit realm?" "It's stronger than the usual extreme limit realm, but the hardest part is that you must shatter its heart, which is hidden deep within its stone body. Otherwise, it can regenerate." Beside him, a swordsman named Song Feng unconsciously revealed a smile. "Looks like our Huangshan Martial Arts University has this win in the bag." Qingshan Kang glanced at him indifferently. "Old Wang, you're celebrating too early." Chapter 183. 147 Temple Struggle Against Evil Spirits, 4.4K, asking for monthly tickets and subscriptions, /2. Wangguang Temple. Creak creak bang. The worn wooden door slammed shut the moment the two stepped in, blown closed by a gust of yin wind. Lu Chenju tried pushing it to no avail. There must be a mechanism. The two observed the dilapidated temple. Since it was chosen as a trial site, the structure was clearly not ancient construction, but rather modern, made to look old. In the center of the temple stood a statue of a bearded, sturdy man in magnificent attire, likely the mountain god, a popular folk deity in the region. Back to back, they searched for traces of void things in the cold wind within the temple, behind the door, on the beams, in the corners amid debris. They scoured all possible hiding spots for void things and finally exchanged glances, simultaneously turning to look at the statue sitting on the altar. Lu Chenju, studying the face of the statue, suddenly asked, "Did that statue just open its mouth?" Chen Zioan felt a chilling shudder travel down her spine. Instinctively, her whip shot out, cracking through the air and struck at the statue's head. "Be careful, the statue is the void thing." The statue, previously motionless, suddenly raised its right palm and caught Chen Zioan's whip, emitting a blue light as it fought against the strength of the whip. The whip, usually potent against spiritual body entities, seemed ineffective now. On one hand, the statue itself had a physical form. On the other hand, it was as if it were coated in a lacquer, reducing damage. Amidst a harsh grating noise, the statue stood up. The formerly bearded strong man now transformed into a dark blue ghoul with a fierce face and sharp teeth. With immense force, the monster pulled, dragging Chen Zioan toward itself. In the blink of an eye, a figure rebounded off a pillar using swallow-form dark force, then tightened his body like a bowstring, vibrating with tiger-form dark force, which eventually concentrated in his right fist. Bang! Accompanied by the sound of flying earth and stone, the statue's right arm was blasted away, shedding its stony layer. Dark blue blood seeped out, hitting the ground and emitting a frigid chill. The pained statue temporarily released the whip. Its hunched figure leapt from the altar, hanging upside down from the beam like a spider, its drool hitting the floor and sizzling into white smoke. Careful, this creature's saliva is corrosive. This entity felt even stronger than the blood feather fiend. Lu Chenju crossed his arms, positioning the fist blades in front of him. He had activated his hard qigong before entering the door, and now, like a giant python, his blue veins bulged along his arms and back, exuding an immense male presence. Chen Zioan retreated to a corner, looking up, not daring to recklessly swing her whip since the creature could grasp it with its bare hands. The two people and one ghost fell into a silent standoff. Eventually, the monster could wait no more. Seizing the opportunity, it slammed down from the beam like a cannonball, its sharp claws tearing through the darkness, aiming straight at Lu Chenju's face. Its instincts told it that Lu Chenju was the toughest one to handle, so it attempted to take them down one by one. Lu Chenju stepped back, leaning his body backward as the monster's claws whizzed by. He easily dodged, flipping over and rebounding off the wall, while the monster also pounced to attack only to hear a snap. Chen Zioan's whip had coiled around its hind legs in the meantime. "Chenju, hurry, I can't hold on much longer." On cue, the monster crashed to the ground with a snap. It turned its head and spat out a glob of viscous liquid. Chen Zioan quickly dodged, but her hair still got caught and instantly disintegrated. Her heart pounded as she gripped the whip, refusing to let go. The monster was about to continue its corrosive spitting attack when Lu Chenju's right foot swung like a hammer, kicking away the ghastly claw. Charging his right tiger claw, the sharp fist blade plunged into the creature's head. The blow, infused with dark force, pierced through the monster's shell, hard as metal, but how could it compare to C8 alloy? With the fist blade sinking into the creature's head with a squelching noise, the monster roared, swiping its claw at Lu Chenju's chest. Lu Chenju countered with his other claw, striking hard in the face of the monster. Relying on the power of his hard qigong, he took the hit with only a muffled groan, unscathed. The fist blade stabbed through the ghastly claw, and Lu Chenju surged forward with a knee, crushing the creature's head against his grip, the blade shearing through the stone-like flesh, effectively slicing off half of the creature's head. Suddenly, a heavy blow struck Lu Chenju's abdomen, flinging him back against the wall, which cracked upon impact. Underneath his protective gear, his bronzed abdomen sported a bloody bruise. Lu Chenju quickly rolled away from the wall as the creature broke free from the whip, its bald and grotesque tail lashing violently toward him. Snap! The monster's tail was halted midair, blocked by Chen Zion's whip. Her form shaken, she was dragged back and forth by the creature. Lu Chenju propelled himself off the wall, circling to the monster's back, and then fist blades hailed down like a storm, deeply stabbing into its back. Roar! Lu Chenju bellowed, the tiger roar echoing throughout the mountain god temple, resounding through the surrounding woods. Birds sleeping for the night were startled en masse, forest creatures fled in panic, and in the woods not too far off, several figures paused, looking toward the source of the sound. Old Tian and Leopard Woman had joined forces. Tiger roar, it's Chenju. Let's go see, he must be in a fierce battle. Elsewhere, Yin Shishi's eyes shimmered as she stood beside a man and a woman, both ninth-rank experts from Martial Arts University, named Liu Yang and Jin Ling. Are there tigers in Huangshan? Of course not. Yin Shishi drew her sword and leapt into the darkness, her ethereal voice trailing. It's Lu Chenju, let's go check it out. Mountain God Temple. The combination of Tiger Roar and Tiger Evil was still so effective. Lu Chenju had been worried about revealing his location during the day and refrained from using them, but right now, he couldn't care less. His fist blades tore open vicious wounds on the creature's back, spewing blue blood. Chapter 184. 147 Temple Struggle Against Evil Spirits, 4.4K, asking for monthly tickets and subscriptions, /3. Fortunately, the monster's blood was not corrosive. He bathed in blue blood, letting the monster charge wildly within the mountain god temple, standing as firm as Mount Tai. His tiger claws flew, tearing at its flesh, while Chen Zion took care of holding onto the monster's deadly long tail. With this arrangement, even the monster's fierce claws found it difficult to harm Lu Chenju on his back. Suddenly, Chen Zion noticed that the blue, stone-like pieces of flesh on the ground were trembling and buzzing. They seemed to be attracted by a magnet, gathering at the monster's feet, morphing into a blue liquid that flowed into it, and then the wounds on the monster's head started healing a little. Chenju, this creature can heal itself. It cannot be killed. Lu Chenju had also noticed the anomaly. Chen Zion said with a tone of surprise and doubt. Shall we run away? Lu Chenju replied. Let's see how it goes. It's even more dangerous to run in a confined space. He pulled out his claws, embraced the monster from behind by its neck, his fist blades sparking against the hard surface, the screeching friction relentless. Lu Chenju's face showed bulging veins, his feet stomped the ground, leaping forward. Upon landing, using the monster's momentum, he spun it around with the yin-yang umbrella spin and then kicked the monster against the wall. Crack! The monster's neck, trapped by the fist blade, finally gave in, forcibly twisted off. Its sinister head still tried to spit venom, but was smashed by Lu Chenju's punch deep into the wall. He followed up with a right-spinning tiger tail leg, the dark force gathering in his foot, the snap echoing thunderously. Boom! The monster's head cracked open like a ripe watermelon. Lu Chenju had already moved away, leaping to a beam to avoid any corrosive liquid splashing onto him. In the next moment, something more horrifying happened. The headless monster was still standing. It casually picked up its broken head, inserted it back onto its neck, and then a shrieking cry suddenly exploded. Lu Chenju's chi blood churned, his eardrums paining. Chen Zion on the ground covered her ears, her head splitting with pain as the monster staggered toward her. Lu Chenju, standing on a roof beam as if on flat ground, leaped to a wall, executed the shock step, and shot out, his fist blade stabbing into the monster's back, flipping it over. Bang! The monster smashed the altar, its ghostly claw reaching for Lu Chenju. I refuse to believe it can't be killed. He roared again, tiger roar mountain forest, stepping forward with a crushing fist, sending the monster flying. Before it even landed, Lu Chenju followed with a backward sweeping leg kick, blasting it away. By this time, Chen Xiaoan had also recovered. Her silver teeth lightly bit, her eyes bloodshot. Ling Snake five-fold echo. The long whip coiled into 5 bends in midair, instantly straightened, and the stacked dark force exploded on the monster's abdomen, completely shattering it, exposing a ghastly white object resembling a heart. The monster instinctively covered its heart with its hands. Seeing this, Lu Chenju, taking cover behind the long whip, quickly closed the distance with the monster. He swung a foot out, pinning the incoming tail against the wall. The wall tiles instantly shattered. Lu Chenju's right hand in tiger form heart stealing, the fist blade snapped the ghostly claw and with an unstoppable momentum, drove into the abdominal cavity. The tightening abdominal cavity trapped Lu Chenju in place. The monster's thoracic cavity suddenly split open wide, attempting to swallow Lu Chenju. Lu Chenju's left hand raised to protect his head. His right fist clutched the heart and he yanked hard. With a bang, like the sound of shattering porcelain, the monster's thoracic cavity's wide open mouth halted. Cracks like those on pottery spread across its stone body, faint blue light glowing intensely. The form exploded. Lu Chenju, with crossed arms protecting his head, was shielded by his protective suit and cross-training body from all the fragments. Inside the Dalling acupoint, a cold tide surged away. Scattered on the ground, the eerie blue stone fragments of the monster slowly melted away into blue smoke. These monster fragments would be recovered and handled by official personnel. No need to worry about environmental contamination. Chen Zion's long whip reached out, curling around a jade token. The token was actually inside the monster's body. Lu Chenju sifted through the monster's remains, finding 2 more faintly glowing jade tokens. Chen Zion handed her token to Lu Chenju, whispering, "You keep it, I'm afraid it might get stolen if I carry it." Now she directly recognized Lu Chenju as her leader. Chapter 185, 148 Dragon Elephant Heaven Supporting Divine Skill, 4K. Lu Chenju took the tokens and said, "This place gave us 3 tokens at once. It seems that the difficulty here is far beyond the previous levels. Let's leave first. I'm worried the enemy might follow the noise. We just went through a fierce battle and our physical strength is depleted. We need to recuperate in time." After they defeated the gatekeeper, the doors of the mountain god temple opened automatically. Chen Xiaoan nodded, stepping forward, only to encounter a sharp sword light slashing through the moonlit night from outside. She quickly blocked it with her long whip, but a dark force burst forth from the sword blade, emitting a sharp and lingering crack. She was sent flying by the impact. "Chenju, there's an ambush outside." Chen Xiaoan flipped and flew to distance, beads of sweat forming on her forehead as she saw 3 figures standing aside the mountain god temple. The leader, a graceful figure wearing a blue Taoist robe-styled training clothes, with her hair in a mixed yuan bun adorned with a jade hairpin, had her right hand executing the soaring cloud sword formation and her left performing the level heaven sword formation, resembling a chilly sword immortal from Chang Palace. Chen Xiaoan's expression turned ugly as she muttered in a low voice, "Yan Shishi." The class leader of Class 3, Huangshan. This person had a top-class root bone and good comprehension. She was only 17, but already possessed the peak 9th rank strength, skilled in green and white double snake sword from Huangshan lineage. This first-class martial arts originated from Huangshan Martial Arts University, created by a predecessor who drew the essence of elephant form fist and developed the elephant form swordsmanship. Being a dual swords martial arts, it was difficult to learn and even harder to master. But this person had already achieved great success. According to pre-battle reports, she had fought hundreds of rounds against extreme limit realm experts at school, finally losing narrowly. However, her popularity at Huangshan Martial Arts University was almost as high as Li Kangkang's. Her companions, Liu Yang and Jin Ling, were also seasoned 9th rank experts with some renown. Chen Xiaoan looked towards the serene mountain god temple. If she ran now, Lu Chenju, surrounded by 3, would definitely lose despite his great skills. Now with Wang Hongdao out of the game, the hope for Dragon City Martial Arts University to turn the tables rested on Old Tian and Lu Chenju. She swung her long whip and it cracked through the air. "Come on, let me try the world-famous swordsmanship of Huangshan." The sword discussion, 6 colleges were known as West Mountain Hua, South Mountain Heng, North Mountain Heng, East Mountain Tai, Kunlun, and Huangshan, situated in these 6 locations and famed among the public because all the schools generally excelled in soldier attack martial arts. Among them, naturally, there were many sword cultivators. Yin Shishi did not make a move. She looked down from above, and a burly figure emerged from within the mountain god temple with bulging muscles stretching his loose training clothes, resembling a tiger's back. Each step he took carried an intimidating evil chi. He unsheathed his fist blade and looked up. "It seems we are set for a decisive battle tonight," Lu Chenju stated calmly, undisturbed. Although he was slightly weary, he could rely on the endurance boost provided by his iron crotch skill to continue fighting with Yin Shishi for 300 rounds without trouble. He craved battles with strong opponents. Yin Shishi shifted her gaze from Lu Chenju. Her ears twitched, and under the cover of the 2 experts, she leaped up to the top of the temple, stood proudly with a confident smile, and said, "I won't take advantage of this situation today. See you tomorrow at Bright Peak." With a light tap, she soared up, turning to leave. Liu Yang and Jin Ling followed closely, about to disappear from the roof. Suddenly, Lu Chenju launched a surprise attack, using swallow form to shoot up a dozen feet high like a wild cat pouncing on a startled bird, and grabbed Jin Ling's snow-white ankle. Tiger form claw instantly locked down. "Thought you could run after attacking Tiger Lord? No way." Roar! The sound of a tiger roar echoed through the forest. Just as Jin Ling prepared to counterattack with her sword, she was momentarily distracted, and amid the painful cry, Lu Chenju pulled her off the rooftop and then slammed her onto the ground, where Jin Ling used her short sword to stab into the ground, barely dissipating the impact with her Hua realm skills to land smoothly, managing to escape. Snap! The long whip came cracking, wrapping around Jin Ling's slim waist. Chen Zion showed a pleased expression and said, "Well done, Chenju." The reversal happened so quickly. Yin Shishi on the rooftop did not expect that Lu Chenju would dare to launch a surprise attack after a grueling battle. Her dual swords flickered like swallows, wings wanting to swoop down, but Liu Yang grabbed her, and from among the trees, 2 figures in Dragon City training clothes emerged. They were Old Tian and Leopard Woman, surrounding Jin Ling. "Forget about me." Jin Ling was frustrated, having tried to show off only to be captured. Yin Shishi's expression changed. She kicked a few tiles, shooting them towards Leopard Woman, who was jumping down, then disappeared into the dim night of Huangshan. Old Tian stopped the pursuing Leopard Woman. "Be careful of the opponent's ambush." Keeping a high-level expert like Yin Shishi was difficult. The 4 from Dragon City Martial Arts University watched Jin Ling with a smirk that wasn't quite a smile. Old Tian said with a grin, "Hand over the nameplate and tokens, and we won't take further action." Jin Ling pouted and handed the nameplate to Old Tian. Lu Chenju asked, "And the tokens?" Jin Ling replied, "They are all with Yin Shishi." Without a second thought, Leopard Woman hugged Jin Ling, capturing her. "What are you doing?" Jin Ling exclaimed. "It's obviously a body search. Stop complaining or I'll let him search you." She pointed to Lu Chenju, who looked menacingly muscular, and said with a sinister smile. Jin Ling's face flushed, and she raised her hands. Chen Zion quickly searched her and then let her go. "Indeed, she doesn't have them." Old Tian said, "Huangshan Martial Arts University isn't foolish. Surely the strongest of the small team is keeping them." Jin Ling wasn't convinced and said, "I'm not weak, you just ganged up on me." She glared fiercely at Lu Chenju, blaming him. The others disregarded her, and soon staff came to take her away. "You have no chance of winning without Wang Hongdao." The woman tried to discredit the group before leaving. She was so confident, knowing they had Li Kongkong at Huangshan. Chapter 186, 148 Dragon Elephant Heaven Supporting Divine Skill, 4K/2. Old Tian asked, "Chenju, how many Jade tokens do you have?" 6, and you? "I have 3, acquired together with the Leopard Woman." Just now, 3 tokens exploded inside the Mountain God Temple. The number of tokens and their difficulty are linked. Old Tian looked at the cold, desolate temple with awe. He had an intuition that the chance to turn the tables in this competition wasn't with him, but with Lu Chenju. Old Tian said, "We already have 9 tokens. Let's head straight for Bright Peak. If there are checkpoints along the way, we'll take them down and then wait for tomorrow's final battle." Leopard woman looked into the dark night and muttered to herself. With Yao Cheng and Zhou Xingkang's personalities, they most likely headed straight for Bright Peak. These two brothers were always full of pride. Underground control room. The staff exchanged glances. SHH, those two actually killed the stone statue. An ordinary 9th rank isn't a match for this void thing. The person in charge of the martial arts department asked. Of the 4 major challenges, have any others been breached? No, only Wangguang Temple has been taken down. The person in charge looked at Lu Chenju, his expression one of admiration. Not bad, your Dragon City has picked up a treasure. King Shinkang barely smiled and said, for those who cultivate both internally and externally, this is all routine. Li Gui remained calm, unsurprised by this news. As a fist technique teacher, he knew Lu Chenju well. What pleasured him even more was that the Mountain Lord's fist blade still had its place in the martial world. Wu Zun looked toward the teachers from Hua Mountain Martial Arts University, with amusement in his eyes. The Pine Wind swordsman had a grim face. He was unhappy firstly because he hadn't expected those two from Dragon City to overcome the challenges, and secondly because he hadn't foreseen that Yin Shishi's trio would end up failing miserably and even get Jin Ling injured. Now Hua Mountain only had 6 participants left. Thankfully Li Kongkong is here. The advantage is still ours. Seconds and minutes passed. The eastern skies above Hua Mountain started to show the first light of dawn, and after Old Tian, Lu Chenju, and the 4 had regrouped, they no longer encountered surprise attacks from Hua Mountain Martial Arts University. Now, unless Li Kongkong led a team to kill them, no one could shake this group of 4. Together, they took down the checkpoints with ease, already securing 12 tokens. In total, Hua Mountain had placed only 32 tokens, and there were 9 left in the other 3 major challenges. Without conquering those challenges, Hua Mountain Martial Arts University could at most obtain 11 tokens on the premise that they could find and clear the remaining checkpoints. The Eastern Sunrise. Tiandu Peak stood tall and majestic, steep and grand. Atop it was an inscription, "Ascend to the ultimate peak." Yao Cheng arrived at the top of the peak, looking far into the distance. His eagle-sharp gaze turned towards the direction of Bright Peak when suddenly, his eyes narrowed, looking behind the stone carvings at the stone chamber. A figure, stretching leisurely while yawning comfortably, walked out with a folding fan gently swaying in hand. When will you ride a phoenix or crane in broad daylight and tread across the clouds atop Tiandu Peak? Brother Yao, I've heard the cries of gods and wails of ghosts at the might of your eagle claw technique. Today, may I have the privilege of experiencing it firsthand. Li Kongkong sang with a smile. Yao Cheng frowned and said, why beat around the bush with flowery words? You just want to fight, don't you? Come on, there's no need for anyone else to hide, come out all at once. Yao Cheng will take you all on. With a snap, Li Kongkong closed his folding fan and said, bravo, such boldness, but it is just me alone. He pressed forward with each step, then suddenly lunged out. Yao Cheng's eagle claw reached for Li Kongkong's face, the 3 fingers adorned with the gleaming, cold eagle claw set. The clash of metals rang out sharp and clear, penetrating clouds and splitting stones, but Li Kongkong parried the eagle claw's deadly strike with a single hand holding the fan. He sneered. His iron fan carved with towering pines and surging waves deflected the eagle claw and circled downward, slashing towards Yao Cheng's abdomen with a chilling cold force. Yao Cheng quickly retreated to the edge of a cliff. Hand over your insignia and tokens, you're no match for me. Li Kongkong radiated a terrifying momentum that shot straight to the sky. In your dreams, Yao Cheng roared, reaching out his right claw towards his opponent. As the folding fan gently blocked it, something in his palm suddenly exploded, releasing a large cloud of white powder. Li Kongkong, concerned about poison, retreated slightly. He calmly waved away the white smoke with his fan, and looking at the steep cliffs of Tiandu Peak, saw a figure soaring down the mountain like a great peng spreading its wings, stepping as if flying. Li Kongkong's lips curved into a smile, not bothering to chase after Yao Cheng. Because Yin Shishi was leading her team below. It will be easier from here on out. His figure disappeared from Tiandu Peak, scaling the walls as he headed straight for Bright Peak. Chen Daok was defeated by Lu Chenju, Tian Xingjian and others, eliminated from the competition. Yao Cheng was defeated by Yin Shishi, Ping and others, eliminated from the competition. 2 pieces of news came in quick succession. At the sight of Lotus Peak, Old Tian and Lu Chenju's four-person squad stopped, their expressions grim. They had just defeated a solitary ninth-rank expert from Huangshan, finally gaining a numerical advantage, only to see it vanish in the next moment. The thing we were most worried about has happened. If Zhou Xingkang gets eliminated, there's no point in playing anymore. Li Kangkang loomed like a mountain, weighing heavily on everyone's minds. Aboard the helicopter, Yao Cheng was taken away. He received a phone from his teacher, with a call from Grandmaster Yao. "You've disappointed me too much. Teamwork, do you understand?" Yao Cheng silently took the scolding without a word. King Shin Kang said, "Grandmaster Yao, please calm down. Yao Cheng was just unlucky. Li Shaokun, you don't always have to consider my feelings, educate him as you need. Otherwise, he'll never become an eagle soaring through the skies." Wu Zun looked down below and sighed softly as well. "We can't afford to lose any more members, or we're certain to lose." Bright Peak. At an altitude of 1860 meters, one of Huangshan's three main peaks. The east and west sea of clouds churned, with the sun high in the sky. Among the cliffs, Zhou Xingkang held his breath and focused, sitting cross-legged on the twisted roots of a pine like a withered tree. He could already hear the proud discussion of the people from Huangshan Martial Arts University. This contest was too difficult. Zio he didn't care being just a mascot, but with the elimination of two formidable experts, Wang Hongdao and Yao Cheng, he had a bad premonition. Time passed, nearing midday. Li Kangkang moved gracefully like a painting, effortlessly crossing over the oddly shaped pines and rocks, and gently landed on a stage built for today's fight, the final battleground. The Bright Peak stage. Those who fell off the stage lost. All around was a sheer cliff, forcing the competitors to focus fully. If they couldn't match their opponent, they had to admit defeat. If they were unfortunate enough to fly off the cliff, masters would come to their rescue. The match format was a 5-on-5 team battle. In the high sky, the helicopter hovered. A bald old man with white eyebrows, dressed in monk-style training clothes, sat cross-legged at the doorway. His benevolent gaze fell on the Bright Peak stage, and while stroking his beard he reminisced. "Huangshan, it's been a long time." The head of the martial arts department chuckled. "Ding Yuan Zen Master, the next time you come might be in 8 years. You couldn't attend the last Hua Mountain Sword discussion because of the Void Realm. But we juniors haven't forgotten about you. Many young disciples from the 5 Buddhist sects are waiting for your guidance." "Haha, I'm old and can only do so much." The Grandmaster, Chu Tian head monk, from the legends never ages. "I can hardly wait to witness the famed dragon elephant heaven-supporting divine skill." Chu Tian head monk, Ding Yuan Zen Master. One of the professors from Songshan Martial Arts University, profound in Buddhist law and philosophy, and also a Grandmaster placed 5th on the leaderboard in one of the earlier all-nations martial arts competitions. The dragon elephant heaven-supporting divine skill originates from the Buddhist law of the Western regions. What is a divine skill? Beyond true skill, it represents the pinnacle of human martial arts achievements. The power of the divine skill is akin to gods and immortals. Within Buddhist divine skills, dragon elephant heaven-supporting divine skill is a superior method, requiring high root bone and comprehension, as well as a deep understanding of Buddhist and boxing realms to cultivate. It has one characteristic: easy to learn but hard to master, with difficulty exponentially increasing later on. Throughout history, many Buddhist grandmasters have practiced this method, yet none have mastered the extreme limit realm of it. Outside of Buddhist grandmasters, others also shy away from attempting this cultivation technique. The head of the martial arts department was a fervent follower of Ding Yuan Zen Master and inquired, "Zen Master, I've heard that Kangshan Dragon King once sought to learn dragon elephant heaven-supporting divine skill from the Buddhist sect. With his peerless talent, he must have mastered it by now, right?" Ding Yuan Zen Master shook his head. "I also do not know, perhaps he has." Chapter 187, 149 Tiger Roar Huangshan, 5K. Bright Peaks Arena. Li Kangkang, Yin Shishi, Kping, Nai Qingshan, and Zhu Jiang, 5 experts from Martial Arts University in Huangshan, assembled together. Each of them wielded different weapons and practiced different martial arts. The Qi Men leisurely fan, dual swords, Yanling blade, red tassel spear, and Zhu Jiang's black iron hammer. Hammer-type weapons are mighty but relatively bulky. Among entry-level martial artists, few choose to use them. Head on the mountain path, Old Tian and his group of 4 also arrived. They looked around but saw no sign of Zhou Xingkang. Their expressions darkened. The good news was that the broadcast had not announced Zhou Xingkang's elimination. He was most likely in hiding. Lu Chenju observed his opponent's weapons, his eyes flickering slightly. Each one's fiercer than the last. Dragon City is at a greater disadvantage again. All of Dragon City's members practice boxing, at most equipped with fist blades and similar handheld weapons. There were very few like Chen Zion who handled long whips. They were naturally at a disadvantage against long weapons early on. Swords were manageable, but that hammer wielder was truly outrageous. Lu Chenju decided he would eliminate him first to prevent future troubles. His cross-training was formidable, capable of defending against sharp cuts, but the hammer's lethality came mainly from blunt force. If he failed to defend, and the dark force-infused hammer slammed into him, even with protective gear, he would likely suffer internal injuries or even fractures, which was more powerful than Baji Fist. Even with the golden body skill, facing such mighty hammer blows is tough. He calmed his mind and looked towards the helicopter in the sky. The white-browed monk's gaze met Lu Chenju's, and the monk nodded with a smile. Lu Chenju was initially startled, then smiled back and averted his gaze. With a grandmaster overseeing the arena, there's no worry of life-threatening danger. Besides, this one ranks 5th among grandmasters on the celestial list in recent years, Chu Tian head monk. Li Kangkang shook his fan and laughed. Looks like Zhou Xingkang turned deserter. Zhu Jiang swinging his hammer declared. This battle now lacks suspense. Nai Qingshan, hoisting his long spear, clenched his fists. I'll take on the one with the whip. Among the weapons present, only his 7-foot flower spear could somewhat compete in length with the whip, for a whip's advantage over shorter weapons is too great and prone to turning the tables. Old Tian checked the position of the sun. It was time for the decisive battle. Everyone go ahead and safety first. He now only hoped that everyone could return unharmed. He no longer expected a victory. Chen Zion was the first to leap onto the stage. Her long whip cracked through the air, followed closely by everyone else. Leopard Woman wore knuckle dusters, and Old Tian wore specially made iron shoes. Lu Chenju crossed his fist blades and activated his hard qi gong. Li Kangkang raised an eyebrow, unfurled his leisure fan, and exclaimed as if he were a storyteller. Seeing me in Huangshan, there are no other mountains in the world. This slogan had organically formed among the students of Martial Arts University in Huangshan. The Huangshan group surged with momentum, swords, spears, and hammers striking simultaneously. At the same time, a figure swiftly scaled the cliff's face, appearing on the arena like a startled dragon in flight. Zhou Xingkang suddenly launched a surprise attack, his 5-clawed golden dragon fists brandishing the fist blades' dragon fangs, glinting coldly as they aimed straight for the back of the hammer-wielding Zhu Jiang. Like Lu Chenju, he too had observed from the shadows and deemed Zhu Jiang too much of a threat. Considering Zhu Jiang's weaker abilities, he aimed to take him out first to handle Li Kangkang more easily. If he had attacked Li Kangkang instead, given his formidable skills, Zhou Xingkang would have likely achieved nothing. The immediate priority was to reduce their numbers first. Only then could they unite to face Li Kangkang effectively. The people of Martial Arts University were both shocked and angered. How despicable! Be careful, Zhu Jiang. Yin Shishi tried to assist, but was entangled by the leopard woman. Her dual sword struck as fast and fierce as thunder. But leopard woman, a seasoned 9th-rank expert, used her knuckle dusters to neutralize the sword strikes while advancing to exploit the short-range combat advantage. With a disadvantage in weaponry, leopard woman couldn't match Yin Shishi. She could only stall for time, waiting for her teammates to turn the tide. Old Tian spontaneously engaged Li Kangkang, unleashing a pair of horse-formed shadowless legs creating afterimages like continuously thrusting spears, surprisingly suppressing his opponent for the moment. Li Kangkang frowned. You're 10th rank too. What, only you can be 10th rank? It doesn't matter, I will show you. Even among 10th ranks there are disparities. He suddenly shot out his leisure fan, spinning like a Dharma wheel, its chi cutting through everything. Old Tian kicked it away, coming close and delivering a dense flurry of kicking from all directions. Li Kangkang's boxing skills were impressive. He just liked to show off with his fan. He blocked Old Tian's kick, and then with a palm infused with dark force, he knocked him back. He caught the falling leisure fan and pursued his advantage. On the other side, Ping sprinted to help the ambushed Zhu Jiang. His mightily swung Yanling blade emitted streaks of cold light towards Zhou Xingkang. Zhou Xingkang brandished his fist blades, clashing blades resonating. Just then Zhu Jiang swung a roundhouse hammer blow, crushing like Mount Tai as a shadowy figure delivered a flying side kick, making Zhu Jiang dodge sideways with his hammer. Zhou Xingkang, tie up Ping for 100 moves. After saying this, Lu Chenju thrust his fist blade towards Zhu Jiang's chest. Zhu Jiang roared furiously. How dare you look down on me? Did Lu Chenju mean to eliminate him within 100 moves? He was a 9th-rank prodigy. How could he endure such an insult? Watch the hammer. Zhu Jiang used both hands for the hammer, chaining one blow after another, an impervious barrage like overlapping mountain ranges. Lu Chenju dared not directly clash, using the tiger swallow dual forms movement technique to weave in and out, darting back and forth. Zhu Jiang's constant hammer swings hit nothing but air, and after a pursuit of 13 moves, he couldn't help but say, only daring to dodge, what a coward. His remark was quite shameless. In cold weapon clashes, normal people wouldn't withstand a direct hammer strike. Not even swords or spears would suffice, let alone Lu Chenju's fist blade. Thus, Lu ignored Zhu Jiang's taunting, relying on his superior movement technique to constantly attack from the sides, forcing Zhu Jiang to tire as he panted heavily, his face red. Chapter 188, 149 Tiger Roar Huangshan, 5K/2. His dual hammers together weighed 180 pounds. An ordinary person who didn't work out would find it hard to lift them, but he was a 9th-rank expert and practiced the hammer technique with long-lasting chi power. However, in sustained combat, he certainly could not surpass the fist technique. Seeing Lu Chenju's intention, he let out a loud cry, stepped forward quickly, and used the chaotic wind hammer technique, trying to overwhelm with brute force. As long as Lu Chenju was hit by his hammer, he would be out of the game. In hammer versus man combat, quick resolution is the king of strategies. Thud, 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 thud. Lu Chenju maintained a safe distance, his body shaking. Utilizing the general armor removal force, he struck from the side with his fist blade, thereby neutralizing the hammer's force. He kept retreating, and unknowingly, Zhu Jiang pushed him to the edge of the arena. Behind him was a cliff. Ha ha ha, down you go. Zhu Jiang ferociously smashed forward, striking directly at the core. Chenju sidestepped and flipped, his pair of fist blades seizing the opportunity to grab at the hammer. A tremendous force numbed Lu Chenju's arms and he grunted, spinning his body like the Tai Kai yin-yang fish. Utilizing the force of the hammer's blow, he redirected the force, spinning Zhu Jiang outwards and striking his back with the tiger tail leg as fast as lightning. Zhu Jiang crashed into the railing, half of his body dangling off the cliff. He gasped for breath and quickly turned to strike back. But now was Lu Chenju's moment. When tiger form is still, it is silent as the deep sea. When it moves, it's like a storm. Fist blades, like phantoms, aimed at Zhu Jiang's throat, chest, abdomen, and other vital areas. Zhu Jiang could only block with his dual hammers, but his back was against the railing, and he had no room to maneuver. After barely holding on for 21 moves, he was struck in the chest by Lu Chenju's stomping step and crushing fist, the dark force exploding, sending him flying 3 yards away. With his skills, there was nothing in midair to leverage, and he was bound to fall. Lu Chenju withdrew his gaze, pondering to himself. 66 moves. He looked around and then turned to head towards Li Kangkang and Old Tian's battleground. From what he could see, Old Tian was under the most pressure and was constantly at risk of defeat. The team could not afford to lose him. Zhu Jiang. Entangled with leopard woman, Yin Shishi exclaimed. In the next moment, a figure swept through the air. Before others could see clearly, Zhu Jiang opened his eyes and found himself on a helicopter. He was lying in the arms of an old monk. Was this the renowned Chu Tian head monk? Still shaken, he calmed himself and said, "Thank you, Grandmaster, for saving my life. It's my duty, you're out now. Alas, it's my fault for being too aggressive." Zhu Jiang set down his hammers, looking down at the ongoing battle. Bad luck, now it's 5 against 4. Luckily, there's Li Kangkang. On the arena. Seeing Zhu Jiang defeated, Li Kangkang sighed, his fan technique becoming more fierce. He used it as a shield to block Old Tian's kicks while simultaneously stabbing at vital spots with it as a blade. Offense and defense combined, this was the leisure fan. Suddenly, Li Kangkang, who was in a superior position, dodged to the right. A tiger claw gleaming with a black light under the sun reached out with a cold aura, ripping through his clothes and revealing the advanced protective suit underneath, with white marks on it quickly repairing. Li Kangkang exhaled turbidly, calmly facing the two on his own. "Come on!" Lu Chenju and Old Tian attacked from left and right, Old Tian leading with a series of flying kicks that Li Kangkang blocked with the leisure fan, while Lu Chenju took the opportunity to engage Li Kangkang with fierce fist moves. Li Kangkang remained composed amidst the danger, spinning around to lightly flick away Old Tian's flying kicks with the leisure fan, utilizing the momentum to let the kick strike Lu Chenju's arm instead. Lu Chenju was sent flying, his brow furrowing slightly. This person had also mastered the yin-yang umbrella spin. Li Kangkang, looking cool, snapped open his folding fan with a smack, coordinating with his leg movements, driving Old Tian back several steps. His figure surged forward like splashing ink into a river. First-class movement technique, splashing ink muddying river skill. Swoosh, the leisure fan horizontally slashed through the air, striking the railing and actually twisting and deforming the iron bars, with cracks emerging. Li Kangkang boldly attacked again, and this time Old Tian intercepted him midway with 3 consecutive lower whip legs, forcing Li Kangkang back. Lu Chenju cut off his retreat, bending over to sweep Li Kangkang's lower stance with a bent-over leg sweep. Li Kangkang flipped like a carp, nimbly dodging away, his folding fan striking Lu Chenju in the chest. Smack! A tremendous force made Lu Chenju's form unsteady, and only by relying on the yin-yang umbrella spin was he barely able to stabilize himself. His internal energy churned wildly, the might of this strike fiercer than the tail whip of the mountain god temple's fierce spirits. Unquestionably, a veteran of the extreme limit realm, indeed formidable. Of course, he had cross-training and the advanced protective suit for protection, so he was not greatly harmed. Seeing this, Li Kangkang thought to himself, even a regular person with a mid-level protective suit would have trouble stopping this move. This hard qigong of Lu Chenju's is indeed troublesome. Better to focus on breaking Tian Xingjian first. He realized that in Dragon City Martial Arts University, apart from Wang Hongdao, the real tough nut to crack was actually Lu Chenju. He dodged Lu Chenju's punch-kill, flying out amidst the winds at the mountain peak. Tian Xingjian's lower whip leg came at him, which Li Kangkang blocked using the leisure fan. He stretched out his other hand, making a fist to strike upward. Smack! Old Tian flipped over, finally stabilizing himself. Li Kangkang, like a venomous snake, did not let go and waded through Old Tian's leg moves. The folding fan opened and closed, slashing, forcing Old Tian to keep retreating. This time Lu Chenju attacked again from the rear. Li Kangkang leaped onto the railing, rolling through the air to dodge the attack. Old Tian's iron legs continuously struck at midair, while Lu Chenju's fist blades gleamed with a cold light, repeatedly stabbing. Li Kangkang holding his own against two, the battle momentarily at a stalemate. On other battlegrounds, long whips like snakes, long spears like dragons, dragons and snakes tangled in combat. Chen Ziyuan and Nai Qingshan were locked in a prolonged battle. Zhou Xingkang's dragon claw skill versus the Yanling blade, neither able to gain the upper hand. The only one having a tough time was Leopard Woman. Her four-fingered fists were fine against void things, but defending against the dual swords of Yin Shishi was extremely taxing. She had already been slashed several times, and if not for wearing a mid-level protective suit, she would have been unable to hold on any longer. Chapter 189, 149 Tiger Roar Huangshan, 5K/3. Li Kangkang's heart leaped with joy. Once the class leader defeats Leopard Woman, we can secure the victory. He couldn't fight 4 hands with 2 and wasn't a match for their combined strength. But Li Kangkang was confident he could hold his own against the two for hundreds of moves until Leopard Woman was defeated and out. The battle had already reached a feverish pitch. Lu Chenju still had a killing move he hadn't used yet, the Tiger Roar and Tiger Evil. The enemy already knew his capabilities, so they were surely on guard. If he didn't roar, it was fine, but once he roared, he must decide the fate. He also observed the situation on Leopard Woman's side. We need a quick resolution. Waiting for Yin Shishi to come to assist means certain defeat. Old Tian also realized that the battle situation was dire. He was already slightly out of breath. Leg techniques consumed a lot of chi power. He suddenly changed directions, abandoning Li Kangkang and charged towards Yin Shishi. Li Kangkang's expression changed. Stay with me. He leaped down from the railing, folded his leisure fan into a sword and stabbed at Old Tian's back. Old Tian rolled forward, dodging the attack. At that moment, Lu Chenju said, "Old Tian, hold on for 30 moves. I'll go knock out Yin Shishi." "Go ahead." Old Tian burst forth with all his strength, barely holding on under Li Kongkong's offensive. Li Kongkong's expression changed several times. He knew Lu Chenju's strength. If he joined the battle, he could quickly team up with Leopard Woman and eliminate the class leader before Old Tian was defeated. He shoved Old Tian back, and the leisure fan flew out, shooting towards Lu Chenju. Lu Chenju suddenly changed direction, swept onto the railing. He fiercely executed a downward chopping leg technique, striking the returning leisure fan down. Then Old Tian, quick as lightning, kicked it off the cliff. "My fan, damn!" Li Kongkong panicked. The two had feinted to trick him into revealing his fan. He blocked Old Tian's attacks with his fists and palms, holding the upper hand but lacking lethal power. Just then, Lu Chenju had already leaped down from the railing, kicking straight at Li Kongkong, who dodged and grabbed Lu Chenju's right leg. "Go down!" He flung fiercely. The yin-yang umbrella spin initiated, attempting to send Lu Chenju flying. Roar! A ground-shaking tiger roar echoed over Bright Peak, causing even Master Ding Yuan watching from a plane to show a trace of surprise. He smiled and said, "This lad is indeed suitable to learn our Buddhist, Vajra lion roar." Li Kongkong had been cautious of Lu Chenju's tiger roar, but in his disadvantage and frantic state, he became somewhat panicked, thus momentarily stunned. Lu Chenju hooked his neck with the right leg, utilizing Li Kongkong's flinging force to pull him towards the cliff edge. Old Tian rejoiced, aiming a kick at Li Kongkong. But Li Kongkong deflected it with one hand using Hua Realm, flinging Old Tian aside while also shoving Lu Chenju away, his sweeping leg kick sending Old Tian directly out of the ring. "Damn, I was careless." Old Tian regretted midair, later safely caught by a grandmaster. "You can go down too." At that moment, Lu Chenju wrapped around Li Kongkong's legs, fist blade tearing at his pants, hooking onto the protective gear. Li Kongkong, with hands pounding the ground, thrust up, switching fists to claws, reaching for Lu Chenju's face. Lu Chenju ducked his head, the yin-yang umbrella spin gaining momentum by borrowing force, spinning Li Kongkong like a windmill, then throwing him out. Li Kongkong casually grabbed a strange pine branch on the edge of the cliff, intending to break it off in return, but Lu Chenju turned around and kicked him in the chest. Li Kongkong then grabbed Lu Chenju's ankle. "You should come down and join me." At that critical moment, Lu Chenju grabbed the railing, flipped over with a tiger honor roll, and swung Li Kongkong out. Watching his opponent plummet straight into the abyss, he was then caught by the fleeting figure of a grandmaster. He gasped for air, heart still pounding. This guy's combat awareness is too strong. He hadn't expected that he and Old Tian, fighting 2 against 1, could still almost be killed in retaliation. On the helicopter, Old Tian gave Li Kongkong a sly smile. "It looks like we've won." Li Kongkong sneered. "It's too early to say. Yin Shishi is very strong. There's still a chance for a turnaround in Huangshan." Lu Chenju took a breath and roared loudly. The profound and extended tiger roar echoed through the mountains as he lunged behind Yin Shishi, his fist blade swinging like the wind. Yin Shishi countered with a Su Qin's sword block, quickly creating distance, but with Li Kongkong no longer suppressing him, Lu Chenju was utterly unrestrained, his attacks ferocious. His fist blade attacked from every direction, crisscrossing wildly, with tiger evil surging forth. Paired with his unstoppable aura, he forced Yin Shishi into a steady retreat. Leopard Woman took the opportunity to catch her breath and struck directly at Yin Shishi's soft waist with the golden leopard triple cannon. With a loud bang, Yin Shishi flew sideways, hitting the railing. Before she could recover and counterattack, Lu Chenju was already on her, slashing deep claw marks on the railing with his fist blade. Yin Shishi rolled to dodge, stabbing upwards with her right hand, but Lu Chenju grabbed it immediately. He then swatted away the woman's sword with his left hand while his legs, like firecrackers, kicked out in a relentless barrage. Even with protective gear, Yin Shishi was beaten to a sorry state, constantly groaning and losing the cold, out-of-this-world charm she had initially. No 9 heaven immortal matters before Tiger Lord, all are mere prey. Lu Chenju disarmed her sword with his fist blade, and amidst Yin Shishi's clumsy pounding, he wrapped his arms around her waist and was about to throw her over the cliff. "Don't throw me, I surrender, I'm a bit afraid of heights." Suddenly, Yin Shishi cried out, her face showing genuine fear. Lu Chenju skeptically. a martial artist with a fear of heights. In her panic, Yin Shishi threw down her ID token and her hair, filled with dust, became a mess. Her beautiful face was also marred, truly pitiable. Lu Chenju picked up his trophies, roared loudly, and together with Leopard Woman, they attacked Pinghu. Seeing the inevitable, struggled briefly before surrendering. What followed was like sweeping away decayed wood. Naikingshan faced many alone and was quickly knocked down. He knelt on the ground, truly unable to comprehend. How did he lose? With Li Kongkong there, Huangshan had the advantage. Leopard Woman, Chen Xiaoan, and Zhou Xingkang all looked at Lu Chenju in unison, only to see him leaning against the railing, drenched in sweat. His training clothes were reduced to tatters by Yin Shishi's blows, and even the surface of his low-level protective gear was slightly damaged. Leopard Woman spat out her chewing gum, thought for a moment since it was a scenic area, then silently picked it up again. She extended her thumb and coolly said 2 words to Lu Chenju. Awesome. Chapter 190. 150 perfect rating, 5K, requesting monthly ticket and subscription. Huangshan Bright Peak. Everyone seemed to be in a dream. This time, Dragon City could be said to have had an unfavorable start. Wang Hongdao lost the opening bout, as if the pillar of the sky had collapsed. The following matches saw both sides eliminating each other, in a deadlock. But because of Li Kongkong's presence, Dragon City had been at a disadvantage, and victory seemed very difficult to achieve. Unexpectedly, Lu Chenju managed to turn the tide. He launched an attack that sent Zhu Jiang flying within 100 moves, then engaged in a fierce battle with Old Tian against Li Kongkong, and after a tough fight, he defeated him and went on to sweep through the others. Ultimately, he secured Dragon City's victory. It could truly be said that he had pulled things back from the brink. Chen Xiaoan laughed and said, Chenju will definitely get a special level evaluation this time. Leopard Woman gracefully walked back and forth along the railing. I'm afraid it's more than that. I've heard that above special level, there's a Class A evaluation. Zhou Xingkang sized up Lu Chenju. Today was truly the first time he had recognized this classmate. He said, a perfect evaluation. It seems Wang Hongdao has never received one. It might be difficult. Leopard Woman nodded her head. There's hope. Chenju's performance this time was too extraordinary. She envied him immensely in her heart. Since her enrollment, she had taken on several practical training missions and had yet to receive a special level. Meanwhile, Chenju just enrolled, and in his first practical training, he attained the special level, and this time there was even hope for the legendary perfect evaluation. How sour. The Tinglong 6 brothers had just made a name for themselves at Sioux City Dragon Marshal, and then they got a real lesson from Lu Chenju, this mid-year transfer and advanced rank student. In half a year he progressed from 6th rank to 9th rank, a marvel in cross-training, impressive in actual combat, personable, liked by teachers and classmates. How could such a person exist in this world? Leopard Woman was completely convinced. The helicopter slowly descended, and one by one, figures disembarked. Old Tian, red in the face, came down and immediately hugged Lu Chenju, saying, Thank you so much. He felt so ashamed. Careless in the face of victory, he had been counterkilled by Li Kongkong. Old Tian felt like his 10th rank was a lie. Yao Cheng stood there with his head down, silent. During this competition, he had only obtained 1 token, and beyond that, he had no achievements. He didn't expect to get a special level evaluation. Even a Class B would be the school showing face for his grandfather. More than anything, he felt lucky. His loss didn't matter as long as the school won. Initially, he did not have much respect for low-class root bone acquired enlightenment, believing himself to be an eagle in the sky, not of their ilk, until Lu Chenju joined their class. Only then did he realize he had been nothing but a frog in a well, living in his own little world. Who could say which mountain was the highest? There would always be mountains beyond the mountains. Xiaohe also came down dejected. Seeing him, Chen Xiaoan couldn't help but let out a chuckle. How does it feel to be laid out flat? Xiaohe said sheepishly. I'm sorry everyone, I'm just too weak. Leopard Woman laughed and said, If you're weak, just train more. Don't peek at me during Heavenly Pile class. Xiaohe's face turned as red as a monkey's butt. I was. Chen Xiaoan laughed heartily. Stop teasing Xiaohe, sister allows you to take a peek. Xiaohe, overwhelmed with embarrassment, wished he could jump off the top of Bright Peak. Suddenly, Lu Chenju felt that his classmates in the genius class were quite good. It was just the pride inherent in their personalities or their individual traits that made them slow to warm up, not as approachable as his classmates in the high school class, but there was no problem with their character. Mainly because the top martial university also had a mature system of martial ethics review. Those with obviously poor character and persistent defiance were probably eliminated during obligatory education. It wasn't the students' lack of intelligence that was feared, but rather that they had great talent with twisted, dark, antisocial characters. Many evil people are indeed born bad seeds. On the other side, Li Kangkang also led the people from Huangshan Martial Arts University over. Although they were upset at losing internally, they still maintained their composure outwardly. The injured and medicated beauty class president Yin Shishi gave Lu Chenju a melancholic glance, then revealed a faint smile and said, "Congratulations to everyone from Dragon City." Old Tian extended his hand, and the class presidents shook hands. "Friendship first, competition second. To tell the truth, your strength is really great. If we didn't have Xiao Lu as our trump card, we might have lost." Everyone in Huangshan looked towards Lu Chenju. This person was too fierce, leaving a deep impression. Especially Jin Ling, who was still feeling shaken, muttered, "Practicing tiger form is too fierce." Li Kangkang subconsciously wanted to flourish his fan to look cool, but realized he had no folding fan in his hand. He laughed awkwardly and said, "Regardless, we made some new friends today. If you have time, you're welcome to come to our Huangshan Martial Arts University for an exchange. I, Li Kangkang, will receive you." Chen Xiaoan joked, "If young Master Li is footing the bill, we'll definitely come." Everyone shook hands and exchanged contact information. Li Kangkang said, "We were outplayed this time. See you next time." The class teacher, swordsman Song Feng, shook his head, looking at the delighted Qingshan Kang. Sioux City Dragon Marshal is really lucky. He was referring to acquiring an extraordinary talent like Lu Chenju. With both internal and external cultivation, indeed he was someone who couldn't be measured by ordinary standards. Such people usually stood supreme in their realm, participating in the all-nations martial arts tournament. As long as their luck wasn't too poor, they could make it onto the Heaven and Earth Xuanwang list and become world-renowned. Later, the people from Huangshan Martial Arts University were the first to leave by helicopter. They only got 5 tokens, all on Li Kangkang. The rest had been snatched away. It was lucky that Li Kangkang flew out of the cliff, otherwise, they wouldn't have had a single token. Having tokens still meant some reward. Qingshan Kang was all smiles. He looked at everyone and said, "Regardless, we won. After we go back, the school will evaluate and score. Wang Hongdao, Xiao He, Yao Cheng, don't be sad about this. In life, luck matters a lot, and the outcome of one competition doesn't represent anything." Chapter 191, 150 perfect rating 5K, requesting monthly ticket and subscription, /2. He turned his gaze to Lu Chenju and said, "Chenju, you really performed well." Everyone, upon hearing the emphasized tone of the head teacher, knew that a perfect evaluation was secured. After briefly commenting on everyone's performance, Qingshan Kang said, "Chenju, head to the helicopter. Master Ding Yuan has something to talk to you about." The crowd was shocked, their eyes turning towards Lu Chenju. Wow, a private meeting with a grandmaster from the heaven list. Chenju has hit the jackpot. The name of Chu Tian head monk was known to all who followed the competition. Once ranked 5th on the heaven list, he might now have already broken through the 5th rank shackle. Lu Chenju felt curious and expectant. Inside the helicopter, an old monk was sitting cross-legged, none other than Master Ding Yuan. He lifted his aged eyes, older even than Wang Jidao's, and smiled at Lu Chenju, saying, "Young friend, how long have you been cultivating Tiger Supreme Fist?" Tiger Supreme Fist originated from Shaolin Buddhism. Lu Chenju said, "Over a year." Master Ding Yuan further inquired, "And what about Arhat skill?" "A year and 3 months." Master Ding Yuan's normally placid expression showed a hint of a smile. "Both Arhat skill and Tiger Supreme Fist come from Buddhism. You are indeed a person born with wisdom roots, a good candidate for cultivating the Vajra Arhat Buddhist law. However, since you have already joined Dragon City Martial Arts University, I'm not here to poach you, just to suggest that in the future you could also train Vajra Lion Roar and 18 Arhat's golden body skill." Nowadays, Shaolin martial arts spread throughout the world, and being in Dragon City will not hinder your cultivation. Lu Chenju smiled. The junior has indeed intended to cultivate these two cultivation methods. Master Ding Yuan replied, "It seems you have also discovered their profound mysteries. If you encounter any doubts or difficulties during your cultivation, you can come to Songshan to find me. I can give you some guidance." "Thank you, Grandmaster." Lu Chenju did not know why this Grandmaster was so kind to him. Wasn't he just bolstering the strength of a rival school? "Go on, Lu Chenju, I will remember you." After giving repeated thanks, Lu Chenju returned to his team. Master Ding Yuan watched from above, serene as a mirror inside. "First let this young man witness the profundity of our Shaolin martial arts. Even being in Dragon City, a Buddhist heart can reside in Shaolin. Where in the world is not the land of Buddha?" And to take a step back, establishing a good relationship beforehand is not a bad thing if, in the future, this young man becomes an unparalleled great grandmaster proficient in both internal and external skills for Songshan Martial Arts University. September 25. A talented class from Dragon City had safely returned to their school several days ago. There was an important dragon martial contest in November. The 6th dragon ascendants felt a surge of pressure. Even Wang Hongdao was no exception. Lu Chenju's performance in battle was no weaker than an ordinary 10th rank. Once he stepped into the 10th rank, he would be a strong contender for the title of Sioux City Dragon Marshals #1. In the principal's office, Qingshan Kang reported the competition's situation to Principal Wang. Beside him, Li Gui had an expectant look in his eyes. Perfect evaluations required the principal's special approval. Wang Changming, busy as he was, skimmed through the competition video. Bad assisted by Chen Ziyuan, he was even able to kill the tough stone statue. That thing has a physical body, which makes it easy to deal with using technological weapons, but due to its indestructible golden stone shell and strong self-healing ability, even a martial artist just entering the 10th rank would find it particularly difficult to kill it without injury. The final battle at Bright Peak, first breaking Zhu Jiang, then defeating Li Kangkang, had a very clear train of thought. Wang Changming was very pleased with Lu Chenju's performance and smiled, saying, "The branch school needs a representative figure to prove everyone's hard work this year. Lu Chenju is the right candidate. Time to give out that perfect evaluation." Even with his discerning eye, he could not find any fault in this battle. Lu Chenju's strength and in-the-moment reactions were the optimal solutions under the circumstances. Li Gui breathed a sigh of relief. A perfect evaluation. I didn't even dare to think about it before. Qingshan Kang looked back at the past. It seemed he never got one either. This was only Lu Chenju's second mission, and his future was boundless. Principal Wang laughed. 500 million credited, let's all keep up the good work. The branch is just established. Aside from the main campus support, we must also find ways to get funding from the martial arts department. From now on, let Zio Lu play in these kinds of contests. It will hone him and let him earn some money. Qingshan Kang laughed heartily. No problem. From now on we'll count on Chenju to take our school to new heights. Li Gui thought to himself, I, the Mountain Lord, have found someone to place my trust in. Though the title Mountain Lord was outdated, for Li Gui, it held great meaning. If he let it collect dust, he always felt as if he was letting down an old friend. Now, having found a worthy master, he could fulfill one of his wishes. That night at the head teacher's home, the 8 people from the genius class stood tensely yet eagerly. The head teacher, holding a grading sheet, calmly said, Wang Hongdao, you made some mistakes early on and were eliminated early. Taking into account your bad luck, the school gives you a Class B evaluation. Wang Hongdao said, Thank you, teacher. I won't make such low-level mistakes again. The head teacher continued, Ziohe, you get a Class C. Any objections? Ziohe shook his head. None. I was defeated as soon as I landed, completely convinced. Class C was still acceptable. At least it didn't deduct points. The head teacher looked at a nervous Yao Cheng and coughed before saying, Yao Cheng, although you didn't achieve anything in the arena, you still acquired a token, thus you get a Class B evaluation. Yao Cheng accepted it humbly, without any complaints. Chen Ziyuan, you and Lu Chenju worked together to overcome difficulties, defeating dangerous void things, and your performance in the arena was also good. You get a special level again. Keep up the good work. Thank you, teacher. Chen Ziyuan was somewhat surprised inside. After these 2 field trainings, She seemed to have found the trick to getting special level. It was to stick with big brother Lu Chenju. She decided to never stray half a step from Lu Chenju in future field trainings. Furthermore, she felt her long whip paired quite well with Lu Chenju's fist technique, one for distance and control, the other for close combat and attack, a naturally perfect match. Chapter 192, 150 perfect rating 5K, requesting monthly ticket and subscription, /3. Shentu Linglan Zhou Xingkang, you are also Class A, and your performances have been quite impressive. Tian Xingjian, you made a merit in fighting Li Kangkang, and you did quite well in the arena competition. The mistake at the end was a bit low level, but the flaw does not obscure the Jade, and you've also received a special evaluation. Million in the account, the principal was very happy. Therefore, there are another 2 special level spots this time. Old Tian clenched his fists excitedly. He finally got a special level for the first time. It really wasn't easy. In the end, the homeroom teacher smiled and turned to Lu Chenju. Lu Chenju, a perfection evaluation. Does anyone else have any objections? Everyone shook their heads. Old Tian applauded and said, "Great, a well-deserved recognition." Yao Cheng and Zhou Xingkang, among others, also nodded, expressing their agreement. Chen Ziyuan smiled and said, "Chenju is awesome." Lu Chenju was pleasantly surprised. "Thank you to the school, thank you to the teachers, thank you everyone." The homeroom teacher said, "A perfection evaluation comes with 2,000 points, and the prize money will be distributed according to the proportion of your scores. Lu Chenju will receive 1.785 million, Tian Xingjian and Chen Ziyuan 790,000. In addition, the school will have additional great merit rewards, which you can check tomorrow." Again, it was Lu Chenju's favorite moment of getting money, and he was secretly thrilled. His savings reached 8.3 million, and with the great merit, his true wealth had already broken 10 million. An average family's lifetime of work without spending a dime couldn't compare to this amount of money. Inside martial arts university, as long as you have the strength, earning money is still quite easy. All right, everyone can go back now. The upcoming Hidden Dragon martial arts competition, prepare well for it. I hope some of you will vie for next year's title of Dragon City's Top 10. After the homeroom teacher finished speaking, everyone unconsciously looked towards Lu Chenju and Wang Hongdao. Even someone as confident as Yao Cheng and Zhou Xingkang did not dare to think about next year's Dragon City's Top 10. Every year, the Dragon City's Top 10 are dominated by martial arts geniuses who stand above the extreme limit realm, a sheer level of difference. Wang Hongdao hesitated for a moment and asked, "Mr. Li, may I boldly ask how far I am from special level martial talent? I'd like to have a direction to strive toward." Special level martial talent had always been a fixation for Wang Hongdao. The homeroom teacher thought for a while and said, "Actually, you've met all the other criteria. You're just missing a perfection evaluation." Wang Hongdao couldn't regret it more in his heart. It turned out he was just one step away from a special level talent in this competition. But a perfection evaluation, indeed, is a rare opportunity. The homeroom teacher comforted. Perform well in the next competition, and there is still hope. Hearing about the perfection evaluation, everyone looked towards Lu Chenju. Chen Ziyuan couldn't help asking, "Teacher, doesn't that mean Chenju will be rated special level?" Leopard Woman said, "Yes, he has already received a perfection rating." Old Tian got a bit excited. "Is our class going to have a special level talent as well?" Special level represents the ultimate limit of talent, imaginable to the average person. Martial arts geniuses are rarities even amongst the top martial universities. King Shinkang smiled and said, "Soon you'll find out, now hurry back." Lu Chenju hadn't thought much about it. Now he was somewhat looking forward to it. Upon returning to the villa, he looked out at the night view of Stone Lake, and just then, King Shinkang told him via private chat on his phone about the gap to achieve special level martial talent. Chi Blood 10th rank before turning 18. That meant if he could reach great success in Tiger Spirit Divine Striking Fist by January 1st of next year, he would achieve it. As for the other conditions, the teacher said he already met them all. The homeroom teacher also said, because of the bonus from cross-training talent, it was fine if Lu Chenju achieved 10th rank a few months late. If the headquarters did not give him the special level evaluation, Principal Wang would personally step in to argue on his behalf. The homeroom teacher told him not to worry about this. Do his best and leave the rest to fate. Special level requires the Grandmaster Committee and the principal of the headquarters for review. Lu Chenju estimated the progress of his tiger spirit, divine striking fist cultivation, and mused. With divine seed's blessing, reaching great success by next January shouldn't be a problem, but before being rated special level, I must make a slight adjustment to my cultivation plan to ensure progress with Heavenly Pile. He had originally planned to cultivate Vajra Lion Roar, but it seemed that it had to be put off until after he reached 10th rank. After Arhat's skill was perfected, he could continue to learn the 18 Arhat's golden body skill. Hard Qigong was very important to him, being an invincible reliance in competitions. Iron Crotch skill and Tiger Shadow mysterious steps should be cultivated normally. The realm and Heavenly Pile are always the top priority. The next morning, the hidden dragon list updated. Shiruyu woke up, as usual, to check her ranking. Ranked at 2600, I should be able to climb up quite a bit by the end of the year when I enter 9th rank. Feiyan also moved up to 2156. As usual, she went to check around the 700 to 800 range for her junior brother's ranking. Where did junior brother go? She didn't look further back, believing he couldn't have fallen behind. She continued looking forward rapidly, passing Tian Xingjian's 740, Leopard Woman's 633, Chen Zion's 580, until she found her junior brother at rank 560. Rank 560, Lu Chenju 9100 points. Did junior brother climb up 2,000 points overnight? Her eyes and brows quivered, wondering if in just 1 month junior brother had broken through from 9th rank to 10th rank. Even a martial arts genius couldn't do that, could they? Wait a minute, 2,000 points, could it be the legendary perfection evaluation? The regular class also had practical training sessions every so often, with rules similar to those of the genius class. Shiruyu's training so far had been classified as Class B and Class A, and so far no one in their class had achieved a special evaluation, let alone perfection. This was a legendary evaluation that could only possibly appear in the genius class. Thinking back to junior brother saying that he had gone on a business trip, she guessed the answer in her heart. The phone rang. It was Jai Feiyan. Sister, you have to look. Junior brother is about to break into the top 500. I saw it. Junior brother is too incredible. Apart from admiration, Shiruyu could only continue to admire. Jai Feiyan laughed and said, "Looks like my dad is going to be so happy he'll have a little drink again today." Chapter 193, 151 Martial Arts Elixir 3K. P.S. A previous mention of 12 Arhats was a typo. It should be 18 Arhats and has all been corrected. Inside Shihu Villa. You have received 40 Great Merit from the School Affairs Office. Your current Great Merit balance is 220. Your account ending in 9527 has received a transfer of 1.785 million. Note: Genius Contest Prize Money. Current balance 8.305 million. Millionaire Lu Chenju turned off his cell phone. It's really nice to have money. Even if he used up 4 Bright God potions every month, he could last over 2 years. In fact, 2 Bright God potions a month were enough. Any more would be a waste. All other medicines were small change to him now. Lu Chenju was now saving money, mainly for 3 goals. First, to get himself a high-level protective suit in one go. In this competition, Li Kongkong, Yin Shishi, and others were tough mainly because they had top-notch equipment. He, being poor, was at a disadvantage. Second was to purchase a Void Blade model fist blade, which was an immediate need. C9 alloy was a level stronger than C8 alloy. Mountain Lords would only use it during the martial artist stage, and it's expected to be phased out after becoming a martial artist. He still had to give it back to his teacher. Third was to prepare for purchasing Great Medicine after becoming a martial artist. The so-called Great Medicine referred to drugs that could further transform a martial artist's body and meet the daily needs of martial arts training. The body's demand for energy and nutrients after breaking free from limitations couldn't be satisfied by ordinary food or regular supplements. Great Medicine was expensive. Even the cheapest ones were in the same category as the Bright God potion. The master was also a wealthy man, making several million easily from running the martial arts hall every year. After expanding over the past 2 years, he probably had tens of millions. But the bulk of his expenses went on buying Great Medicine. Therefore, Lu Chenju was grateful to him. The master wasn't considered very rich among the martial artist community, yet he was willing to spend so much money on him. A week later, October 1st. Today marked the second anniversary of Lu Chenju's awakening of the martial arts tree. Looking at the martial arts tree in his mind, the sapling had unknowingly grown to 7 feet 3 inches tall. One day, it will become a towering tree. He had this feeling. The martial arts tree itself was an extremely special talent. After breakfast, Lu Chenju went to the gatehouse to pick up a package, inside which was a protective suit looking brand new. If one didn't look closely, one wouldn't notice any traces of repair. Not bad, well worth the 300,000 repair cost. Yin Shishi's sword from Huangshan is really powerful, definitely high-quality merchandise. It can withstand pistol bullets, and yet it was torn slightly. After getting dressed in the protective suit, Lu Chenju went to the regular class to find his senior martial sister. Today was a rest day, and the 3 true inheritors were going to visit their master, so he took the opportunity to give a class to the students. Flying Swallow Martial Arts Hall. Jai Chuantong was somewhat surprised to see the 3 true inheritors returning. Why have you all come back? You're so busy with your studies. Jai Feiyan looked helplessly at Lu Chenju. It was the junior brother who wanted to come. Old Jai couldn't be happier inside. He said earnestly, Chenju might have a chance to enter the top 500 of the Hidden Dragon list this year. Lu Chenju said, I just got lucky, receiving a perfect evaluation in field training. Jai Chuantong. Perfection is something you come across but cannot seek. It requires not just luck but more importantly, strength. The master and disciples chatted happily. Before leaving, Lu Chenju took a gift box from the car, handed it to Jai Chuantong and solemnly said, Master, I've made a bit of money recently, so I bought you a gift as a teacher appreciation. Please accept it. Jai Chuantong took the gift box. The disciple shows gratitude to the master, a gift that is light but full of heart. Inside the teacher appreciation gift box are 2 boxes of Foundation No. 1 Martial Arts Elixir from Martial Medicine Factory No. 6. Jai Chuantong's eyes twitched as he said, why waste the money? Foundation No. 1. This was precisely the great medicine he needed for cultivation at his current stage. 1 box costing 200,000, used sparingly, was enough for half a month, and this gift pack valued at 400,000 would last a month. Shiruyu immediately said, Master, this is Chenju's hard intent, please accept it. A disciple shouldn't refuse the master's kindness, and the master shouldn't refuse the disciple's gift. Chenju has indeed made quite a lot of money recently. Jai Chuantong looked at Lu Chenju and said, I'll accept this time, but in the future there's no need for such things. Firstly, I have money, and secondly, you're at the time when you need money most. The most important thing is to improve yourself. Seeing Jai Chuantong accept it, Shiruyu smiled cheerfully. She also took her own prepared gift box from the car. Master, then you might as well accept mine as well. Jai Chuantong realized with a laugh. All right, you all conspired together, didn't you? Then he looked at Jai Feiyan. Jai Feiyan's face flushed with helplessness. I didn't conspire. I already gave a gift on Father's Day and I'm broke now. True to being a dear child, but too transparent, old Jai felt a pang of inner bitterness. He laughed and said, I knew you weren't prepared. Jai Feiyan whispered, That's not true. I'm also very thoughtful, I just don't have money recently. After visiting his master, Lu Chenju left to give a class. He had always wanted to repay the teacher's kindness. After consulting with his 2 senior martial sisters, they decided to buy some great medicine for the master. Seeing the smile on his master's face, his heart felt much comforted. Teacher Xiao Lu, you've arrived. Lin Ryujun, now in her 2nd year of junior high, had a stronger presence than the year before, gradually stepping out of the shadow of losing her mother. Lu Chenju had saved both her and her father's lives. In her heart, she had come to regard teacher Xiao Lu as her own elder brother. Her father often reminded her not to forget this debt of gratitude and to repay it when the opportunity arose. Perform the full set of punches for me, let's see how you've progressed. Lu Chenju remained as stern as ever, his expression serious. Okay. Lin Ryujun completed the routine and seemed to have nearly mastered it. Not bad, aim for a small success next year and great success before high school. This way, you'll stand a chance to pass the Martial Arts University's special enrollment test and secure your place in the affiliate high school. Looking at her current aptitude, It was unlikely for this girl to get into Pingjiang Martial Arts University. But there was still hope for a second-class, ordinary martial arts university. Lin Ryujun, greatly encouraged, said cheerfully, "All right, I'll work hard." Before long, Lin Bin also walked in. He had been studying basic boxing for a year and was now proficient. This talent of his was stronger than Lu Guoping's. Objectively speaking, among the people around Lu Chenju, his father had the worst comprehension. He might truly be unsuited for martial arts training. Lin Bin said, "Teacher Zio Lu, I just ran into Officer Chen on my way home. He said if you're free after class, you might stop by the police station." "Okay." After class, Lin Bin watched Lu Chenju prepare to leave and hesitated before asking, "Teacher, the first term of classes is over. Will you still come in the future?" He had now sold off the Shihu villa to rent a small house near the police station, with his only remaining wish in life being for his daughter to grow up safely and get into martial arts university. Lu Chenju said, "If you both need me, I can continue teaching, but my cultivation has improved, so my class fees have also long since increased to 1,000 per session." Lin Bin quickly said with a smile, "Money is not a problem. Ryujun and I will both continue with 100 more classes." The purchase limit for classes on the Mortal Bone app was indeed 100 sessions. This way, if the teacher raised his prices in the future, they could adjust in time. Lu Chenju said, "Thank you for your support, Mr. Lin. However, due to my studies, I might not be as readily available as other teachers. I hope you can understand." Lin Bin replied with a smile, "No worries, this is up to you, teacher, whenever you feel like arranging it." His deeper purpose in continuing the lessons was to maintain this teacher-student relationship with Lu Chenju. He believed it was the best decision he had made in his life. If not for having teacher Zio Lu as a private instructor, he and his daughter would no longer be alive. Before Lu Chenju left, the Mortal Bone app sent another notification. Students Lin Bin and Lin Ryujun have each purchased 100 class sessions. After deducting the website's share and income tax, Lu Chenju had another 144,000 in his account for the month. Although this sum wasn't large, it was steady and could trickle in for a long time. For quite a while, he only needed to maintain these few customers. Teaching others to box was more of a relaxation for Lu Chenju. For a genius, if they want to make big money, it's still through competing. The Shihu police station. "Chief Chen, you wanted to see me." Lu Chenju looked at the burly figure in front of him. Chen Zhen, having made significant contributions to the Heart Happiness Sect case, had now been promoted to deputy chief of the Shihu station. "It's been a long time, Chenju." Chen Zhen could naturally sense the change in Lu Chenju's aura, inwardly astonished. This young man's strength now seemed to surpass that of ninth-ranked Chen Yuan. Even among geniuses, there are gaps. Chen Zhen led Lu Chenju to his office and said, "I called for you this time mainly to invite you to assist us in an operation to take down a cult hideout. Compared to regular martial artist tasks, the difficulty is somewhat lower. However, due to the peculiar nature of the case, if you can complete it successfully, the police department has a judicial assistance bounty of 400,000 to 800,000, depending on your performance. Ordinary tasks for martial artists start with a bounty of 500,000. The amount indeed wasn't small. Lu Chenju pondered for a moment. "I need to understand the difficulty of the task, and as a genius class student, unlike ordinary students, executing a judicial assistance task requires approval from the school. The school's organized practical training missions would be overseen by teachers. For ordinary judicial assistance missions like this, there wouldn't be such oversight. Therefore, the school would be more cautious about allowing them to execute such tasks. They would agree only after teachers and the police had communicated to understand the case and confirmed that there was no significant risk. Each genius was an invaluable treasure." Chen Zhen said with a smile, "Don't worry, we'll go through all the necessary procedures. Moreover, this case isn't being handled by our Shihu station but by the Pingjiang branch. The person who wants your assistance on the case is someone else. I estimate you'll be interested." "Who?" As Lu Chenju's words fell, a tower-like figure pushed the door open. He was wearing sunglasses, and his height exceeding 1.9 meters was filled with explosive power. Black Tiger followed him like a shadow. "Me?" Lu Chenju quickly stood up and greeted respectfully. "Officer Lu Feng, good to see you." The visitor was none other than Evil Tiger. The name of the ghost-head evil tiger was famous. The reputation of some martial arts grandmasters wasn't even comparable to that of Lu Feng, partly because this man trained both internally and externally. What's more, Lu Feng was notoriously fierce, with many exploits to his name. Lu Feng had Lu Chenju sit down and straightforwardly said, "This time, the cult is called the Blue Lotus Society. According to intelligence, the sect has invented a new evil skill that can penetrate the defense of protective suits, but the membrane formed by hard Qigong can effectively resist the evil skill. Hence, we need to gather a group of hard Qigong cultivators." Chapter 194, 152 Arhat Perfection 4K. Those who practice hard Qigong are rare animals. Those with cross-training talent are even rarer. Lu Feng was deeply impressed by Lu Chenju. Next, Lu Feng had Chen Zhen roughly introduce the cultivation and difficulty level of the enemy to Lu Chenju, which was overall simpler than the wind wave forest. The strongest of the enemies were only at the level of the extreme limit realm, and their operation site was just a branch of the Black Knights, aiming to root out their headquarters. Lu Chenju did not agree immediately. "I need to discuss this with the school. I hope the officer understands." Lu Feng said, "Judicial assistance is voluntary after all. Take your time to consider it. Every mission has certain risks and unexpected factors that we need to clarify beforehand." "I understand," Chen Zhen said. "Then Xiao Lu, you can go back first. Contact us anytime if there's an update." Watching Lu Chenju's retreating figure, he asked with a smile, "Director Lu, you've taken a liking to this kid, haven't you?" Lu Feng, while replying to a message from his daughter on his phone, said, "The lad is indeed good. I want to see how he performs in this mission. If possible, I'd like to recruit him into the Vajra Group, jointly established by the Security Department and Martial Arts Department for specialized training in hard Qigong." Chen Zhen expressed astonishment. "The Vajra Group, isn't that the department that was recently established? I heard it aims to gather elite practitioners from martial arts university and the public. The standards must be very high." Lu Feng said, "Yes, if compared to inner boxing. Currently only Class A martial artists are being recruited. Mainly, due to ongoing conflicts with the Blue Lotus Society, we found that these peculiar individuals have mastered an evil skill that can counteract protection suits, and besides the martial artist's power and true Qi, only the hard Qigong's golden film can combat it." Chen Zhen sighed. "These shadowy figures are also progressing." Lu Feng said, "That's why we must continuously improve. Previously, due to the low efficiency of hard Qigong, it wasn't given enough emphasis. Now, the Martial Arts Association is exploring ways to strengthen cross-training overall and to dig out talents, aiming to nurture a special force of cross-training elites, while scientists at the Void Control Department are tirelessly researching new equipment. A Taoist saying goes, where the Tao rises 1 foot, the devil rises 10. The unending clash between light and darkness. The void realm hung above like the sword of Damocles. Fortunately, mankind has not only martial arts but also technology. On one hand, martial arts continuously break through human limitations. On the other hand, science and technology are also constantly evolving. Head teacher's villa. King Shinkang said to Lu Chenju, "I'm aware of your situation. Lu Feng had contacted me earlier, and I've had professionals from the school assess some risks. You may go, but if you encounter danger, prioritize preserving your life. Before that, try to enhance your strength as much as possible." "All right, I've noted it. Go ahead." After Lu Chenju left, King Shinkang made a call to Li Gui. "Xiao Li, if you have time, you might as well follow quietly. The school will compensate you with some great merit afterward. I worry about the unexpected. We can't afford to lose Lu Chenju. He is our branch's first special level." Li Gui didn't hesitate to reply. "All right, senior, it's not a waste of time. I'll coordinate with the police, and on the day of the mission, I'll take a look. Lu Chenju is my student. I will protect him in secret until he fully matures as a martial artist." King Shinkang said with a smile. "That puts my mind at ease. Iron-faced tiger, tough on the outside but soft on the inside." King Shinkang knew this man too well. In fact, he had invited Iron-Faced Tiger to the branch school specifically for Lu Chenju because he trusted the character and capabilities of the master-disciple duo, Hong Fu and Li Gui. They would properly train their disciple, Lu Chenju. This is the legacy of the master-disciple tradition. "Chenju, what do you need?" Chenjiu opened the villa door to find Lu Chenju again. He whispered, "Teacher, I'd like to request your help with sparring." He knew his teacher wasn't short on money and wondered if it would be too much to ask. Chenjiu said with a smile, "Come in. Will it be iron crotch skill or Arhat skill?" "Arhat skill, teacher, if you're available. I'd like to come here for an hour of sparring every day." Lu Chenju lacked not great merit but strength. Chenjiu said, "That's fine, come to my training room." Thus, Lu Chenju began another special training in Arhat skill, and when Chenju saw the faint golden glow brewing in his film, his eyes narrowed slightly. "Your Arhat skill isn't far from perfection." He remembered Lu Chenju had been practicing Arhat skill for less than a year and a half. Such progress truly marked a cross-training prodigy. Chenjiu, intrigued, threw his golden palm precisely toward the upper half of Lu Chenju's body, the sparring area. He was curious about the boy's limits. Perhaps getting carried away, the first day of special training extended to 2 full hours. By then Lu Chenju could no longer endure, battered blue and purple. "Teacher, I've reached my limit." "I see, go rest. If you have enough great merit and time, I can spar with you for 2 hours daily. How does that sound?" Lu Chenju's face brightened. "Then I'm in your care, teacher." In the following days, Lu Chenju's life resumed a routine, sparring, attending classes, and teaching students. The date for this year's Hidden Dragon martial arts competition was also officially set for November 11. As autumn turned to winter, Sioux City grew slightly colder. In a blink, time reached November 3. Lu Chenju, looking in the mirror at home, saw his bronze film gradually replaced by a filamentous golden film, emitting a faint golden radiance under the sunlight, mysterious and profound. Chapter 195, 152 Arhat Perfection, 4K/2. His Arhat skill had become increasingly profound. Arhat skill, great success 99%. After perfection, the body will be as if coated in gold, and that is the golden Buddha Arhat. In the mirror, Lu Chenju, with a mix of masculinity and softness in his demeanor, looked slightly different from before, more subtly sharp. This was the external influence brought about by the harmonious balance of yin and yang after opening the 18th Shenmen acupoint. Of course, the most important function of this acupoint was its slight resistance to the chill of void things, which could save his life at critical moments. Lu Chenju shifted his gaze to the other martial arts disciplines on the martial arts tree. Tiger Shadow Mysterious Steps, proficient 66%. Iron Crotch Skill, mastery 82%. Tiger Spirit Divine Fist, small success 53%. Dragon and Tiger Heavenly Pile, 19th acupoint 38%. This month, Iron Crotch Skill should reach small success, eliminating my vulnerability in the groin area. Tiger Spirit Divine Fist will achieve great success in the next 2 months, stabilizing at 10th rank. Tiger Shadow Mysterious Steps is likely to reach mastery after the Hidden Dragon martial arts competition. As for the Heavenly Pile, I can still ensure opening 1 acupoint every month and a half, hoping to open 30 acupoints by the end of next year. In fact, compared to martial arts, the speed of Heavenly Pile cultivation is currently my greatest advantage. For others, the Heavenly Pile becomes progressively harder, but he had yet to encounter any obstacles, and fundamentally, the Heavenly Pile would determine how far a martial artist could go. Many geniuses were stalled by the Heavenly Pile. He was currently cultivating the 19th acupoint, called the Yemen acupoint, belonging to the water element among the 5 elements. Wuzun said that after opening it, the acupoint in the hands could faintly sense the free-floating moisture in the air around, nourishing the body and greatly reducing a martial artist's dependence on drinking water. After becoming a martial artist, one could go a month without a drop of water and be fine. Additionally, physical combat itself consumes a substantial amount of water, and the opening of this acupoint also benefits enduring fights. All in all, it's crucial. As Lu Chenju was on his way to Chenju's house, Lu Feng called. "Chenju, the operation is set for 5 days from now. Any issues?" "November 8th, no problem." "All right, meet at the Pingjiang police station on the evening of the 8th. After hanging up, Lu Chenju murmured, 5 days is more than enough for the Arhat skill to reach perfection. 3 days later, November 6. Inside the training room, Chenju stopped the intense training and exhaled a breath of turbid air. "Reached your limit?" "Yes." "Then let's finish. You are quite tough, enduring my 2-hour sessions each day for 36 consecutive days. you're pretty much at perfection now. Lu Chenju looked at the martial arts tree. Arhat skill, great success 100%. His reflection in the mirror was almost entirely coated in a golden film, a hue different from that produced by golden jade ointment, emanating a solemn and sacred aura. Just like Buddha's light. Chenju advised, take it easy these next 2 days, give your body a chance to breathe. Your muscles and flesh also need time to heal. You can already be considered a golden Buddha Arhat. Just rest well over the next week and you'll be able to replace the copper film with a gold film. This transition period of cross-training membrane, I call it shedding. Lu Chenju learned some new knowledge. Thank you, teacher. Take what you need. Go back now and don't forget to apply purple jade ointment externally. If you cultivate the 18 Arhat's golden body skill, later, start with purple jade ointment, not golden jade. Although effective, it's less efficient. Student is grateful. 3 days later, November 8. Lu Chenju woke up early in the morning. The first thing was to look in the mirror. His upper body had drastically changed, no longer bearing the bronze film but now shimmering with a legendary golden luster of the golden film. He looked towards the martial arts tree. Arhat skill, perfection. Hahaha, the strongest golden Buddha Arhat body achieved. This hard Qi Gong took a year and a half. Regarding difficulty, second-class hard Qi Gong was indeed much higher than the second-class martial arts Tiger Supreme Fist, and the pain endured during this period was no less than that of the heavenly pile. But all of it was worth it. Lu Chenju forcefully tapped his chest with his fingers, making a loud thud with a force sufficient to shatter the bones of an ordinary person, causing the golden film to tremble slightly. It doesn't even tickle. He picked up a fruit knife and sliced towards the golden film on the surface of his arm, deepening the force. The film buzzed and trembled, showing great toughness and elasticity, disregarding the blade. Even when Lu Chenju used 50% of his strength, he could only leave white marks. Lu Chenju muttered to himself, is the golden film this strong? That doesn't seem right. His Qi blood was vast, and his strength far exceeded that of an ordinary person, so much so that calling it divine power was not an exaggeration. The golden film, born from second-class hard Qi Gong, shouldn't be able to withstand attacks from sharp weapons. Suddenly he had a thought. This blade is made of ordinary metal, not hard enough. He noticed that the fruit knife had already become dull. Such everyday knives, even when used long-term to cut pork, would become blunt and required frequent sharpening. Let alone the golden film of hard Qi Gong. Lu Chenju's face lit up with joy. Ordinary cold weapons, unless imbued with dark force, have no killing power against me. Even if dozens of armed ordinary people attacked, it would be like a group of chicks pecking, at most causing some superficial skin injuries. This was the effect he wanted. If it were another 9th-rank martial artist, even with a strong body without cross-training skills, they wouldn't dare to directly counter blade attacks unless wearing protective gear. This membrane from cross-training was key. This was no longer as simple as just an outer skin layer, but a protective membrane of flesh formed by mysterious powers from acupoints, possessing some extraordinary characteristics. This was the fundamental power of hard Qi Gong. Lu Chenju then brought out the Mountain Lord Fist blade. At this moment, he began to exert force, and when he used 50% of his power, the golden film was torn open like leather. He quickly stopped. With an alloy blade that could slice through iron like mud, he was not inclined to harm himself. Simultaneously, the golden film began to heal at a visible speed, like golden liquid flowing. Marvelous, truly marvelous. Lu Chenju grew more fond of it the more he looked. A 9th-rank physique paired with protective gear means the ordinary attacks of peers at the same realm pose no threat to me. Only a 9th-rank dark force, weakened through the golden film and protective gear, can perform feats like remote force hits or penetrating killing internally. This kind of injury he could also withstand. During this, Lu Chenju didn't even need to block or dodge. He could merely withstand the enemy's attacks and beat them to death with chaotic punches. That's the violence of absolute defense. But I still need to be cautious of high-tech alloy weapons. Also, the supernatural abilities of cultists and void things can't be measured by ordinary standards. In this world, everything has its antithesis. Is there such a thing as an absolute indestructible, Vajra unbreakable? After the Hidden Dragon martial arts competition ends, I'll go learn golden body skill from Mr. Chen. If he could perfect this top-level hard Qigong, that would truly be invincible. Not even sniper rifles could break through. What terrifying defense that would be. Seeing the power of the golden film, Lu Chenju felt even more confident about tomorrow's mission. At this moment on the martial arts tree, a petal falling from the Arhat skills section quickly gave birth to a divine seed that glimmered with a pale golden light, looking extremely appealing. Divine seed Vajrabodhi, second rank, resides in the Lao Gong acupoint. Vajra glaring, Bodhisattva lowers eyes. Effect 1. Buddha Wisdom Level 2 slightly enhances comprehension of Buddhist martial arts. Effect 2. Cross-training Level 2 slightly enhances the innate talent in cross-training martial arts. Effect 3. Angry eyes can intimidate enemies through anger, dealing some real damage to evil spirits. What a powerful divine seed! Lu Chenju exclaimed. The effects of the Qigong seed differed sharply from fist theory. Effect 1 unexpectedly enhances comprehension of Buddhist martial arts, naturally referring to any martial arts that originate from Buddhism and primarily involve its fist theory. This scope was indeed vast, even larger than tiger form. Shaolin Temple, Imei, Wudai Mountain, Jiuhua Mountain, Mount Puchuo, all main martial arts from these 5 schools are Buddhist martial arts, just like Tiger Supreme Fist and Southern Shaolin Black Tiger Fist from the Dragon City Elephant Form lineage. The fist theory of both the Buddhist and Taoist martial arts affected the martial arts structure of De Zia extensively. Hence, this special effect was formidable, greatly aiding Lu Chenju in future cultivation of Vajra Lion Roar and 18 Arhat's golden body skill. Chapter 196, 153 Hidden Dragon Top 500, 4K, requesting monthly ticket and subscription. The efficacy of the second-level cross-training talent goes without saying. Enhancing his cross-training martial arts talent was exactly what Lu Chenju needed most. Unlike other martial arts, cross-training directly improved talent rather than comprehension. Combining Mr. Chen's popular science on cross-training, Lu Chenju speculated that cross-training martial arts did not have high requirements for so-called comprehension. It had its own system of cross-training talent, distinct from the root-bone comprehension of inner boxing. However, compared with inner boxing, cross-training was less systematic, had fewer cultivators, and throughout ancient and modern times, there were even fewer who achieved great success. So the Martial Arts Association had not yet been able to fathom which specific attributes made up cross-training talent, preventing the launch of a public screening test. As for the idea of having the entire population practice hard Qigong to judge talent based on progression, it was even less realistic. Moreover, with the rapid development of human technology, bulletproof vests and protective gear could replace the function of hard Qigong. With all these challenges combined, hard Qigong was phased out. The efficient inner boxing was the true path to power. Lu Chenju mused to himself. It seems that De Zia must have a lot of cross-training geniuses who have been buried. There was no helping it. It was only recently, since the establishment of the new De Zia, that martial arts had truly begun systematic development. The martial arts system of old was even more obscure. Different sects couldn't even agree on the naming conventions for martial arts realms. Therefore, after the establishment of New De Zia, the first thing they did was to establish the Martial Arts Association, bit by bit breaking down the barriers of noble families and sects, standardizing martial arts realms and terminology, and transforming the ancient martial arts in a more modern way. It proved to be an outstandingly effective approach. The speed and limits for the emergence of martial arts powerhouses continued to grow. In short, martial arts was constantly changing and developing. One day, cross-training might rise, depending on whether someone could integrate the strengths of various cross-training martial arts, combine ancient and modern techniques, and with great wisdom, establish the framework. The last angry eyes was an unexpected pleasure. Looks like this is another technique that utilizes Qi, Lu Chenju thought. Black Tiger Fist trains evil Qi, while Arhat skill cultivates anger, which has the same effect of intimidating the enemy. More importantly, like Tiger Roar, it can inflict true injuries on void things. Although both are minor, the total effect builds up over time, and one day, I may not even need to lift a finger. With just a Vajra glaring and a fierce Tiger Roar, I could annihilate demons and monsters. Lu Chenju was in high spirits. Arhat skill awesome. He couldn't imagine how incredible the golden body skill must be. Flying Swallow Martial Arts Hall. Jai Chuantong was taking the great medicine his disciples sent him, and he felt wonderful. He circulated his true skill, channeling the power of the great medicine through his limbs and bones, polishing his flesh as if sanding. Polishing is truly painful. The practice of martial artists became more grueling as they progressed. Heavenly Pile was difficult, polishing was no picnic either. Thinking that his disciple also had to practice hard qigong, with 3 difficulties combined. Old Jai felt that Chenju would certainly accomplish great things. Ending his cultivation, Old Jai checked his smartphone messages. Master, I have already perfected the golden Buddha Arhat body. Old Jai was electrified, immediately standing up. Chenju, take a photo and let me see. Okay. Jai Chuantong, looking at the photo showing the faint golden film radiating a sacred and profound glow, clenched his fists tightly, his body trembling with excitement, and his martial arts strong sound thundering. Indeed, it's the embryonic form of a golden body. Master, I have a judicial assistance task tomorrow. Go ahead with your current strength. As long as you don't take on tasks that involve martial artist levels, you should be able to protect yourself and escape in most sudden situations. The strength of the golden body was something Jai Chuantong had witnessed in his youth. He added, Chenju, you've just perfected the Arhat skill. Take a break from hard qigong practice for a while until your body recovers sufficiently. While the iron is hot, you should begin cultivating the 18 Arhat's golden body skill. The Arhat skill only nurtures the embryonic form of the golden body in the upper body, but the golden body skill covers everywhere except vital areas. Next, you'll continuously improve the quality of the golden film, making it more solid until the golden body skill reaches perfection. Your body, except for the vital areas, will truly become Vajra unbreakable, impervious to knives and guns. Okay, Master, Mr. Chen has also mentioned this to me. Don't be afraid to spend great merit if you have to. In the future, as you cultivate the golden body skill, as long as Mr. Chen is available, you should spend money to learn from his expertise. The fact that you perfected it so quickly has a lot to do with his professional beat training. If you run out of great merit, tell me. There's enough, Master, you don't have to worry. As for protecting the crotch area, you're practicing the iron crotch skill, so I'm not too concerned. As for the fragile areas like the eyes, you'll need to toughen up the eyelids. When your entire body has no vital points, an enemy's attacks anywhere will be negligible, and you'll achieve the legendary flawless golden body, the realm many hard qigong enthusiasts dream of. Old Jai could be called a jack of all trades, knowledgeable about many things. As someone who ran a martial arts academy, he had to understand a bit of everything. Otherwise, getting stumped by a student's question would be embarrassing. Villa by the Stone Lake. Lu Chenju looked at his all-in-one card. Only 110 great merit left. If I want to practice golden body skill in the future, just the purple jade ointment will cost 16 great merit per month, and the beat training for golden body skill is 2 great merit per session, 60 per month. Top-level hard qigong is too expensive. As a first-class hard qigong golden body skill cannot be practiced with Wang Gang beat training because its beat training covers a larger area and involves far more critical points than Arhat skill. With Wang Gang's knowledge in hard qigong, the results would certainly be average. Better not skimp on this expense. Since he had a talent for cross-training, he had to invest well. Cross-training was his secret weapon to distinguish himself from other talents. If it comes down to it, I'll have to buy great merit with money. I have enough savings to support myself for 10 months. In comparison, practicing inner boxing now is actually more affordable. Tomorrow's judicial assistance and the subsequent competitions and hands-on training will all make money.